This is the Snoppa Vmate. This is a compact, pocket-sized camera. You can tell it's small enough to literally fit in my hand. It has a gimbal on it and is great for action cam type work. You can see it comes in this case that's really handy to carry it around in. It's very safe in here. It keeps the head and the lens out of harm's way. You can see when it's placed in there, it keeps it oriented in the right direction so it doesn't rub against the casing at all. And then when you pull it out, it actually doubles as a phone mount. So you can take your cell phone and actually just place it right in here, pull this down and clip it directly to your phone, which is super, super cool. The other nice feature is when you connect this via Bluetooth and wireless to your phone, it will use your phone microphone for the actual audio. So you get much better audio out of your cell phone. It's honestly like they're just built to have really good audio coming out of them. Like you're able to put them on speakerphone nowadays and get some really good quality stuff. So that's gonna record your audio as opposed to the on-camera mics, which in my opinion, let's pop this out. Let's clean this guy off just a little bit really quick. Here we go. Clean that screen just a touch. In my experience with this thing, the on-camera microphones, which are very small, you can see there's one there, and I think there's one on the front somewhere, or maybe on the camera itself. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so there's one here. You can see one microphone and a second microphone there. Because it's sort of where you naturally go to hold, you go to press the button here and you're gonna be rubbing right up against that microphone. And then when you hold the camera like this, your thumb is right up against the microphone as well. So it's not really an ideal situation for microphones, but it gives you good scratch audio. So you can hear all around you for a good distance. Like it picks up pretty much everything. And then you can sync better quality audio to this device. When you're using it with your cell phone though, on this case right here, that's not an issue at all because it's using your cell phone's actual audio. So here, let's turn this thing on. Got this cool little startup. Flips around, does its thing, and then it's ready to go. This camera is currently in 4K 30. You can see it's nice and stabilized. It'll keep the head nice and smooth. As you can see with that demonstration, seeing the top down of it moving around is real nice. You look up, you look down, it also follows you, and you can press on the screen and raise and lower the head of the gimbal as well. So that's a really nice, simple feature to have built right in. You can also single tap on the screen and it'll focus for you. So like if you're finding, you're shooting audio, you're moving it back and forth, some of that, the focus maybe doesn't quite hit exactly where you want it to, you can tap right in the center and it'll bring up that focus point, which will catch as soon as it has a point of high enough contrast. The other nice thing about this is you can just swipe to get your other control. So swiping from the right side does a reset. Swiping from the left will bring up your different modes. You can go photo, video, panoramic, time lapse, slow motion, night shot. If I'm not mistaken, night shot is going to give you a longer exposure time. It's a little bit longer exposure time on a JPEG, so it's a photo night shot. Slow-mo is going to be 1080p up to 4 times speed, which I think is about 120 frames per second. But you can also do, if I'm not mistaken, times 8, which is 240 frames per second. But that's in a different mode, and I'll show you that soon. Time lapse is obviously a longer image, but it will take a 10-second time lapse, and you can like move the gimbal while you do it, which is really cool. It does have some other like programmed modes and whatnot that you can work with, but those are going to be available when you're connected to your cell phone. Panoramic, it will sit flat down, and then it will move the head and take a panoramic image. But let's go into video for now. So this is set into 4K 30. We will bring up our frame rate and resolution options. You can see we're at 4K 30 right now. But if we change that, we can go into 4K 50 or even 60 frames per second, which is nice slow-mo. You can slow it down to about 40% speed if you're presenting in 24 frames per second. Like say your final video is 24 frames per second, you take that 60 frames, you slow it down to 40%, and it will return 24 frames per second footage. So it'll look perfectly fine, and you get to utilize that slow motion. You can also switch between H.264 and H.265, which is high efficiency video codec. It records a much smaller physical file size, but it still has all of those, the quality there that allow you to edit the footage and whatnot. You can also add your specific settings, calibration, how much of your SD card is still available. You can see we've been shooting with this for a little bit. Preview the direction of the swipes, auto off time, your screen brightness. It's now at full brightness now. Your remaining battery life and your version mode. So you can see if you've got your most updated firmware. And then finally is language, reset, and regulatory. So that's just like information about the pocket camera, and reset would bring you back to factory settings. So we're gonna leave that all off, but let's check out our 60 frames per second, how fast we can go. So, or not 60 frames, so 1080p. You can shoot constant up to 60. Yep, that's the same with H.265. Got it. So there's 1080 plus. That is a higher resolution 1080. It's a higher bit rate, which in H.264 mode gives you, I think it's something like 200 megabits per second, which is really, really good quality. Like, it's still going to be a very small sensor because it's on this size of a camera, but having a higher bit rate will allow you to do more in post with your actual footage. You'll be able to edit a little bit cleaner, all that stuff will give you some better quality coming out of it. Do think that the video quality coming out of it is like 8-bit or less, just because the color grading options there really aren't that great. I think it's 8-bit because it just sort of will break apart if you need to push it too far. The one nice part about the Feiyu Pocket that I liked is that it has an F-Log mode. So it actually has a low contrast, more filmic kind of looking video mode that you can put it into, much like a picture profile, like S-Log or C-Log, and it gives you a little bit more latitude in your actual editing. When it comes down to it though, it wasn't that great of a F-Log in 8-bit. Really, like, if you push the edit too far, it still ends up breaking apart a whole lot. So I do like the standard modes in this. The Snoppa has been looking great for me, and I've been really enjoying this product. Definitely check it out online. We'll have a link in the description if you want to get it through our affiliate links. That would really help out the channel and help us do more of these reviews. So thanks for watching. Check out the link for more. And yeah, this was the Snoppa Vmate. Pretty cool.